Hello, hello. Today we're talking about how to grow a following for your acting career. If we haven't met, my name's Heidi Dean. I'm a social media expert for actors, and my clients range from Emmy Award winners to Broadway stars to filmmakers, casting directors, producers, and actors just like you guys. And I think this is number 8 for me on Backstage for the last couple months, but I am especially excited today because we are talking about Twitter. And don't tell Instagram, don't tell YouTube, but Twitter is my favorite platform of any social network. So I'm very excited to share with you guys some tips today. I also believe that Twitter is the easiest, fastest place for an actor, for a business, for anybody to grow an audience if you know how to use search. And stay tuned because we're going to get to talking about how to use search to find your tribe a little bit later in today's live. So it's my goal today, guys, to give you 10 things that will help you grow your following on Twitter for your career the minute we get done today, okay? So you can actually build buzz about your acting career and spread the word about your projects. Let me know if that sounds cool. Let me know if you're as pumped as me. Let me know if you can hear me so I know that I'm not just talking to myself. So we've got Jean, we've got Candy, we got Risa, we got Marianne. We got Indra, we got Carolyn. Thank you for being here with me today, guys. And hey, I always ask you where you're from, which I see that you guys are already doing. But also just hop on and drop your Twitter username. If you're using Twitter, drop it in the chat so that you guys can connect with people while I'm live or after we're done. And if you're catching this on replay in the future, make sure you just go down to the comments and drop your username there as well. All right, perfect. Great, you hear me great. Awesome, I see so many familiar faces. Robert Ball, I think I know you from Twitter. I think we just talked the other day on Twitter. Perfect. Hey, Mary Newsom, I know your face as well. All right, I'm going to just dive right in. I have a lot to cover today, and I want to make sure I have plenty of time to answer your questions at the end of our live today. So, an effective follower growth strategy on Twitter for your career, guys, includes 3 steps. And the first step is that you have to create an awesome first impression. Step number 2, you have to create shareable, retweetable content. And step number 3, you need to be able to engage with your target audience. And that includes knowing how to find your target audience. So those are really the 3 steps. Write those down, okay, guys? You're going to, number 1, create an awesome first impression. Number 2, you're going to know how to create shareable content. And don't worry, I'm going to give you tips today that show you how to do this. And number 3, you're going to engage with your audience. Got it? Those are the 3 stair steps to building a following on Twitter. And I say stair steps because you have to do them in order. And I see a lot of actors skipping to number 3 and trying to engage with people on Twitter who may or may not be their target audience. But then when they bring people back to their account, their first impression doesn't look good. Their posts don't really reflect them. They're not specific. They're not retweetable. And they don't end up seeing the follow results they want. So really, we're going to go in that order today. First impression, shareable post, and then engagement, just because that's how you guys need to set up your system to grow your following anyways. Okay, let me know if that makes sense, guys. Awesome. Samantha, what you shared today about Twitter will apply to Instagram. There will be a lot of concepts that I talk about today that will apply to Instagram. I did do a different live on Instagram about how to grow your following, and I'm sure Katie can drop that in the chat for you. Okay? Oh, she's on it. She even beat me. Katie is the best. Let's give a little, little shout out to Katie in the chat. Hi, Khalid. Yay. So many people I know. Hi, Candy. Okay, guys. So, like I said, those are the 3 steps, and I'm going to give you 10 tips that kind of fall into those different categories. So some of them will help you with your first impression. Some of them will help you, create more retweetable content. Some of them will help you engage with your audience more. Okay? So let's start with the first category, and that is cleaning up that first impression, creating a first impression that makes people want to hit that follow button. Okay, you guys have to know that you have to earn your followers. Okay, it's not just an automatic thing. You have to earn them. People have to want to follow you, and your first impression is the first step in that. Okay, so let me give you 3 ways you can do that the minute we're done today. The first way is to optimize your photos. Okay, that starts with your profile photo. Make sure it's welcoming. Make sure it's up close. Okay, this is the photo you're doing all your conversations with. Also, make sure that that header photo at the top, the cover photo on Twitter, it really clearly shows us who you are, what you stand for, what you do. And what you do could mean that it's a screenshot from a recent project. Okay. This is like a big billboard, actually, to show us why we should follow you. You got it? Okay. Don't leave this area black. Don't leave it blue, right? Don't leave the blue box. Don't put an ocean scene, a field of flowers. You will miss out on followers. It's really one of the big things that pops up as your first impression. I had another live about cleaning up your first impression. It gave you a resource, Canva, Canva. It's a free tool that you can make a header photo. Okay. I'm going to give you guys tons of resources that will help you with a lot of these things today, that you can do afterwards as well. So stick around. Okay. Awesome. Great. I see everyone is here. Khalid here to support you. Awesome. Khalid's one of my social rock stars. He's just an awesome actor. Go follow Khalid on Twitter. He is doing an awesome job. Okay, guys. So you guys are going to optimize your photos. Next, I want you to optimize your bio, because really when somebody either goes to your page or they hover over your name, what happens? What pops up front and center? It's that bio, right? And hop in a chat, guys. I have a question for you. What do you think your Twitter bio's #1 job is? Tell me in the chat. I'm going to have a sip of coffee because there's a little bit of a delay. What do you think your Twitter bio's #1 job is? There's always a delay. So I'm interested to see what you guys think that Twitter bio's #1 job is. Candy says she's been using Canva for some time now. It's such a great tool. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing anything yet in chat, so I'm just going to keep going. Your Twitter bio's #1 job, guys. It is, oh, here we go. Here they come in. There's always a delay. It's so funny. Get people interested in who you are. Brand you. Lure people in to look at your content. To tell people about who you are and why they should follow you. These are all right on the money, but your Twitter bio's real #1 job is to get people to follow you, right? I think somebody said that, why we should follow you, right? Yes, it's supposed to tell us more about who you are, but it's really that thing that goes bing, bing, bing when someone lands on your profile. So they go, wait, I'm like that too. I'm going to really like this place. This is for me. This accounts for me. I'm going to match with this person. So it's #1 job is to get people to follow you. And that's why I'm mentioning it today. And that's really a lot of responsibility for 160 characters, because that's what we get for that Twitter bio. You've got to make every character count, okay? Your bio is an introduction to the world. It expresses your uniqueness, your talents, your passions, and it needs to make us want to follow you. Got it? So another thing on Twitter that is very different from Instagram is that Twitter bio helps you show up in search. That whole bio is searchable, which is not the case on Instagram. So when you create this bio, don't forget to use keywords for like-minded people. So if you're trying to attract other people in the industry, what keywords would you do to do that? You'd use keywords to describe what you do. Voiceover, actor, director, maybe SAG-AFTRA if you're in a union. These are going to help you show up in Twitter search. Also think association. So did you go to a certain alma mater that might be known for theater? Are you in a theater company? Did you study at an acting school? These might be things that you include in your bio. Perfect example, I put @Backstage Expert in my Twitter bio. Not all the time, because I switch my bio up all the time, but a lot of the time I do. Why? Because I am a Backstage expert. I love Backstage. It helps promote them as well. But guess who shows up in search when people look at Backstage? Me, right? So through associations, through having these keywords in my bio, I show up in search and I get followers every day because of it. Pretty cool, right? So as an actor, this also might mean that you're using hashtags or you're using usernames for possibly the projects you're a part of as well, because people might be looking up at those, especially if they're trending or in the news. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Someone says, how are you doing? Oh, hey, Tony, how are we doing? I am doing fantastic. I'm talking about Twitter. It's my favorite. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, guys. So we're talking about that first impression, optimizing your photos, your bios front and center, and is getting people to want to follow you. Use those keywords, okay? That's going to help you get followers in your sleep, literally. The third thing that is really going to help you grow your following faster is cleaning up those social stats, cleaning up your follower counts. You know, like it or not, those are part of your first impression. no matter what you do, whether you're an actor or just on Twitter, right? Now, obviously, you're working on that because you guys are here on a live about growing your following. So thumbs up, that's the first step. But, did you know that it is so much easier to grow a following once you have followers? It's truth. It's fact. They've done studies on it. The more followers you have, the easier it is to grow a following. Why? Because it's easier to like things that other people have already liked. It's one reason they want to get rid of like counts everywhere, right? So it's instant credibility having followers. It was much easier for me to grow followers once I got to 20,000 or 25,000, or now I'm close to 30,000, than when I was at 100 or 500 or 1,000, right? I already had that social proof. Now, building an audience takes time. You're not just going to get to 30,000 like me that fast. But what you can do is you can clean up your ratio so that you look more followable. Is that even a word? So that you look more influential. That is a word. So I want you to flip the ratio. A lot of you guys, if you have a ratio where you're following less people than are following you, just stick with me. I'll be done with this one soon. But if that's not you, if you're like a lot of actors, I go to your page and you're following 2,000, 3,000 people and you have 1,000 followers or 500 followers, you don't look very influential for the business and you don't look influential for me to follow you, right? We want to flip this ratio. And one of the reasons that this ratio is off in the first place is you may have followed, remember when you signed up for Twitter and they suggested 100 people to you, like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, all those people, Kim Kardashian, and you just said, yes, I'll take all of them. So a lot of those followers might be people like that, people that maybe you don't even care about. A lot of those followers, maybe when you originally connected your address book, and maybe you're out of touch with those people. Maybe some of those people aren't even using Twitter actively. Let's get rid of them, right? Let's flip the ratio for you, okay? And I'm going to give you some tools to do this. Awesome. Just let me know you guys are still here. I didn't see that the chat's moved in a little while, so I want to make sure. Hey, Edward, thank you for joining me. I just got your email. All right, guys. So you want to get those follower numbers in check. You want to ideally have more people following you than people you're following, okay? The first thing I want you to do this is, well, I'll tell you about a tool first because it makes it easier. There's a tool called Tweepy, Tweepi. It's an approved tool by Twitter that you can use. What it does is it analyzes your Twitter following. So it's gonna pull up your whole anyone that you are following on Twitter, and you're gonna be able to see all of them. And you're gonna be able to say, hey, Tweepy, can you show me who doesn't follow me back, right? And they're gonna pull everyone up. What I like to do first when I'm doing a cleanup with clients is we say, okay, Tweepy, can you show me the inactive accounts? So it will pull up anybody that's not using their account. This is really valuable information because think about the algorithm. Any algorithm favors you having engagement. And if these people are not using Twitter, bye-bye, let's unfollow them, right? No hard feelings. They're not following you anyways, right? They don't even know. And obviously they're not using the platform. So if you're going to do a cleanup like this, use something like Tweepy. And like I said, first step, find out who you're following but's not following you back, and then find the inactive accounts and say bye-bye. And the great thing about using a tool like this is that it's going to keep you within Twitter rules because they work with Twitter. You won't unfollow too many people. You won't get in trouble. But they also help you sift further than that. So I can say, pull up everyone that's inactive, but I can also say, pull up the people I followed 5 years ago. Or if you're newer, maybe a year ago, who are following me back. Twitter's a big party, guys. If they're not following you back, they're not seeing your post. They don't even know you follow them. Start the cleanup that way. Do not follow people and then unfollow right away. That is not cool. But look in the past, look at these people that you may have followed a long time ago. They didn't reciprocate, 5 years ago, a year ago. I say, as you get closer, 3 months is as close as I really get for that. If I followed them 3 months ago and they didn't follow me back, they aren't going to follow me now. That notification is gone. They may have never seen it. Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Okay. What about the least interacted with? You mean people that haven't interacted with you? They've got all sorts. That's the great thing about this tool is that they will show you all different things. They'll even show you who, Twitter used to have an egg as a profile photo back in the day when you didn't have a profile photo. So they'll show you all the eggs Now it's just a, and a little icon. But so you can sift through so much information. And we're going to talk about this when we get to the end as well, with really finding your individual tribe. It's just amazing. Now, do you have to use Tweetbee? No, you're just not going to get all the in-depth stats. But if you want to do it manually, go into your Twitter account. If you want to clean up this ratio, go into your Twitter account and look at everyone you're following, and then scroll all the way to the bottom. And the reason why you're doing that is the people at the top are the people that you recently followed. The people at the bottom are the people you followed a long time ago. So you're going to want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and clean those people up first. Just know that you can only do so many a day, and you're going to be guessing when you do it on your own. A tool like Tweetbee will do it. Will tell you when you've unfollowed the perfect amount. Got it? So let me know if that makes sense, guys. Okay. You said, yes, would you recommend unfollowing them? That's what I usually do. Yes, exactly. Because these are people that are not interested. You followed a long time ago. They're not even on the platform anymore. We're just getting rid of the dead weight, really, so that we can invite more people to our party and get things in check, right? You don't want to be like, because at some point, you guys, I don't know if you realize, there are limits to follow limits on Instagram, and there's follow limits to Twitter. So at some point, you have to be following a certain percentage on Twitter. I think it's about 5%. You have to have 5%, I'm going to get this backwards, more followers than the people following you. That may be totally backwards. But you have to have a certain amount of people following you back before you can follow anymore. That's correct. So that know that if you aren't actually cleaning up this dead weight from before, people that aren't on the platform, at some point, Twitter will actually say, you can't follow any more people. So it's actually something that has to happen anyways. All right. Janet, it's not an app. It's a desktop app. So just go to, it's TWEEPI. Yeah. And I'm not affiliated with them or anything. It's an awesome tool. And you'll find out how awesome it really is in just a little bit. This is just like preliminary cleanup. Okay, guys? Perfect. I don't know the person's name, but I don't even follow celebrities. There's some actors, writers, directors that actually interest me. Perfect. Just make sure that ratio's in check. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So those are 3 steps you can do right now to do step 1, which is really setting up that awesome first impression. Are there more things you can do? Yes, but in interest of time today, I wanted to do the 3 main cleanup steps that really, really, truly affect your follower growth. Okay, because think about it. If I go and engage with you and I bring you back to my account and I look around and things just don't look good, it's like inviting someone over to your house and you didn't clean up, you didn't even paint the walls, and you have no light bulbs, right? They're not going to want to come back. They're not going to stick around. They're not going to follow you. Okay, so this is the first step. So make sure when we're done today, you're going to create that awesome first impression. You're going to optimize those photos, spruce up that bio with keywords, and you're going to fix your social stats. Give me a little thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know if that makes sense and that you guys are going to do the work. Okay. Are you with me? Let me know in the chat, because that's what it's about. A lot of you guys watch these lives, but you don't do the work. So please, please, please. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're going to do this work. Yes. Awesome. We are like super delayed on the chat today. But you guys aren't delayed. It's just what YouTube does. Awesome. Lots of thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, so we finished step 1. We're going to move on to step 2, which of your audience building strategy. And step 2, guys, is being able to create awesome, engaging, retweetable content. And this is so important. It's so important on Twitter even more than Instagram, because Instagram doesn't give us a whole lot of share features. And the reason why is the better your tweets are, the more they're going to get retweeted, and the more followers you're going to get. Just done, right? So the next 6 little steps I'm going to give you are going to help you with this number 2 step. Okay. Not available. But when you start getting more followers, that's when you should start unfollowing the people you follow in the beginning. Yes. Well, just keep the ratio in check, because there might be some dead weight before you start following. Okay. What a big coffee cup. Yes, this is my coffee cup. If I go live, I pretty much always have this coffee cup. It's like 3 cups of coffee. I never finish it though. All right, guys. So we're going to start with the obvious, with getting more retweets, getting more, getting our post out there for more people. So let's start with the obvious, and that is using hashtags. Before there was Instagram, there was Twitter, and that's where hashtags were born, guys. And literally by using the right hashtags, I can get hundreds of more followers every month just by hashtags. Okay. And it's awesome because it doesn't take any extra work beyond posting. It just gets my post in front of new people that don't know who I am, so they can join my tribe. Now, hashtags on Twitter, it's a huge conversation, but the thing I get asked the most is how many hashtags should I use? Okay. Generally on Twitter, not Instagram, guys, 1 to 3 hashtags will make sure your tweets get higher engagement and get seen, but won't look like spam, really. And they've done a lot of studies on this. 1 to 3 gets it out there, but you have to remember, Twitter, it's like conversations. Hashtags are like conversations. Your tweets, they're conversations. So if you hashtag stuff a lot on Twitter, things start looking like spam. They make me not want to read it, right? Especially because hashtags they're a different color on Twitter. So many studies have said use 1 to 3 hashtags and that's it. Save those extra hashtags for Instagram. Okay. And you need to remember, like I just said, hashtags are conversations. So when you're choosing these hashtags, don't just randomly choose. I see some of you guys you're saying you're like hustling or something. So you hashtag hustle in the middle of the sentence, but what conversation is that going to put you in? Is that the conversation that your tribe is also doing? Like, what conversation do you want to be in? The perfect example is, you're looking for a new acting coach. So you put, hey guys, any suggestions? I need a new hashtag acting, hashtag coach. That's not the way to do it, right? I guess the good thing is you'll show up in streams for hashtag acting. But hashtag coach is going to put you in, streams and conversations of hashtags and feeds for sports and maybe, I don't know, therapy. So really think about the conversations you want to be in and choose hashtags accordingly. That is how you find your like-minded tribe. Okay. Candy, you don't want to get lost in the larger hashtags. Yes, you do. You do need to be careful to not just use the biggest ones, but that's not as important on Twitter as it is on Instagram. Okay. All right. I'm going to get to questions later. All right. So using hashtags, we're starting basic, right? This is going to help us get out there, create better posts that are going to get more engagement and be retweeted more and get more followers. The second thing we can do is we can post more consistently, right? Really to increase your engagement and visibility, you need to post consistently, and that will increase your follower count. I see a lot of actors, maybe Instagram's their first choice and then Twitter's after, and they hop on every few weeks and they expect to see follower growth by posting. And you got to post consistently. Now we're going to talk about best times to post on Twitter in just a second. But you need to be relevant. Back in the day, I actually used to post like 12 times a day on Twitter and 25 times on the weekend. Things have changed on Twitter, which is good. You don't have to post that much anymore because Twitter, the algorithm has changed, and you can people will see your posts later, right? If they're actively engaged in your conversation, right? It used to be in the past, they'd only see the post when it was live, like if it was in the feed at that time. And that's just not the case anymore. So that's allowed us to post a little bit less on Twitter, but you do need to be consistent. The other problem with if you only hop on every 3 weeks, what I see people doing, or once a week, is you end up getting unfollowed because you put out too many tweets in a short amount of time. So you hop on once a week and then you're just like retweet. You're just sharing all at once. You're trying to get caught up. It's better to hop on for less time every day on Twitter or every other day than to do this like shotgun approach, right? Once a week or every 2 weeks. Okay. So don't hop on Twitter, once a week and retweet 30 things that you missed throughout the week. That just doesn't work. And Twitter's helping us out with this. There's a brand new feature on Twitter, I'd say a couple weeks now. There's a new scheduling feature. So if you go in to make a tweet, you can actually schedule your tweets right on Twitter. It's pretty exciting. You don't need a scheduler or anything. It looks like a little calendar. It's awesome. And what's even more awesome is, say that you want to retweet something that you see and you want to retweet it with a comment. If you guys are using Twitter, you know what I mean. You can hit retweet and then you can put your comment on the top. You can schedule those as well. Right? So you can hop on in the morning, look at your feed and go, oh, cool, I want to comment on that. I'll schedule that for 12. I'll schedule that for 2. You can kind of spread out your posts throughout the day. Thank you, Twitter, for this change. It's awesome. We don't have to, hop on all day, and we don't have to just hop on once a week and do 30 posts at a time. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay? Let me know. Awesome. Let me move the thing up a little bit. Okay, guys, so you're going to use hashtags. You're going to post consistently, but not in big bursts, right? Also, you can hop on relevant trending hashtags. Now, I don't suggest you hop on every trending tag that you see on Twitter, but if it aligns with your brand, if it aligns with the things that you're usually posting about, you can see significant increases in follow growth. If you do comedy, there are so many fun little games on Twitter where you can hop on the fun, cool hashtag. So look at your trending tags. You're going to find those on desktop. They're going to be over to your right. On the phone, there's a whole feed for them, and hop on them if they align with your brand. Okay. It's especially important if you do comedy. Okay. Or I know a lot of you guys are multi-hyphenates. If you are a musician, right, and you're covering songs from major artists, maybe you have a YouTube channel where you're also covering songs. When that artist is trending, you can use a trending tag to hop into the conversation, right? You might meet fans who also might like your music. Got it? Okay. You don't see the calendar, Cynthia. It's when you go in to tweet, either update your app or go on desktop and you'll see it. Okay. Kimberly, so you no longer have to use Hootsuite for schedule. You don't have to. You can, it's amazing. You can schedule right in Twitter. I like Hootsuite for the streams as well. For those of you who don't know, Hootsuite is a scheduler. It's a scheduler that's outside of Twitter, and you can also organize a lot of things into streams and see multiple platforms in one place. So it's useful for that. But yes, Kimberly, you can do it right in the app. So I should say the desktop, because that's where I run my Twitter, and I'll talk to you later about why I do that. Okay, cool. All right, Edward, save your question to the end because I may not see it as I keep going. All right, so we're going to post consistently, use hashtags, hop on trending tags, and we're also going to post at the best times for you. This means we can actually post consistently, but less. Okay, this is so important, especially on Twitter, guys. You should know the best times for your account to post. And what I mean by that is, when are more of your followers online? When are they on Twitter? And this answer is different for every single person. It's different for Candy. It's different for Spencer. It's different for Kimberly. It's different for Edward, right? Okay. If you know, consistent isn't every 2 hours or so. It's, just being consistent. I post once a day sometimes. Okay. We can talk about that more in the Q&A, and that's going to depend on who you are. Okay. But first you need to know what are the best times. And I'll give you a couple resources for this. I actually have this in my analytics. Now, I run ads on Twitter, so maybe that's why I have it, because a lot of my clients tell me they don't see this. But when I go into my analytics on desktop, they give me the best times to post. There's like a little chart. It's really awesome. If you don't see that, because maybe you don't have the media center I do, because I'm a business, then you can use a tool called Follower Wonk. That's Follower Wonk, just like it sounds. And you can go in there and find out the best times. Best times to post for your account in your time zone. So the results you get are, if you're in New York like I am, the times there are in New York. They're also going to give you a map and show you like where your followers are. And this can be really enlightening. I just worked with a client, and she didn't understand why everything seemed off. She has a certain amount of followers. She should be getting engagement. And then she realized that because she had moved from New York to California, that a lot of her followers were still in New York, but she was posting more for people in California. And that's a 3-hour time difference, right? So when she ran the scan with Follower Wonk, she found actually posting 3 hours earlier is a big sweet spot where actually thousands more of her followers were online at that time, and her engagement skyrocketed. So something simple like that can get more people looking at your posts, more people sharing them, more people engaging. More retweets equals more followers, right? So you can use a tool like Follower Wonk to do this. Let me see. Deanna, love your clock. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've had it forever. I love it too. So you guys are going to now post at the best times for your account. And this is really going to help you. I promise. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is you need to be present on your account, on your page. And this comes down to two things. A lot of you guys go over and look at your account. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm at Marketing for Actor. And I follow a lot of actors because that's how I learn. That's how I see what mistakes you guys are making, what you're doing well. And every single day I see somebody and I click over to see what they're doing. And one big mistake I see is that you're the retweet robot. You're just retweeting other people's stuff, which isn't really helping you grow, right? I don't actually see you on the page. And so guess what? I don't want to follow you if you're just like recycling the news that everyone else is sharing. That's not interesting to me. So you got to change that. We got to hear your voice. That's going to help you, share posts that are going to get you notice and get you more followers. That's number one. But also be careful of auto linking all your social media. I'm all about working smarter, not harder on social media. And there are ways to link your different, your Instagram to your Twitter to your Facebook. But if I go over to anybody's Twitter and it's just a stream of Instagram posts or Facebook posts, I will not follow you. I'll go follow you on Instagram or I'll go follow you on Facebook. But that clearly tells me that you're not home, right? You don't really care about Twitter, and that's fine, but nobody's home. Okay. So really avoid making all your posts a linked post. Okay. There's a strategy behind this, and that is not the strategy. Okay. I'm going to keep on moving because I'm looking at the time and I got a lot to cover. The last thing I'm going to say in step 2 about posting strategy to get more retweets, to get more engagement, so you get more followers, is from time to time, don't be afraid to ask for engagement. Don't be afraid to ask for retweets from time to time. I'm putting that out there again. There have been tons of studies on this as well, that tweets that actually have the words please retweet in their text actually get more engagement, actually get 4 times more engagement and shares. It makes sense, right? Everything moves fast on Twitter. And sometimes you need to tell your followers, especially if it's an important thing that they're going to rally behind and love, you need to tell your followers to stop and listen and do something and take action, okay? A perfect example is I posted a Mark Ruffalo quote some time back, and he was talking about how awesome it is to be an actor and how proud he is to be an actor. And this quote spoke for itself. I made a visual, and then right above it, all I had to say is, I think I posted it a couple different times over a couple months. One time I said, like, if you're proud to be an actor. One time I said, retweet if you're proud to be an actor. Hundreds of retweets later and hundreds of new followers later, and just hundreds of just goodwill later and good karma that got spread from that post because I actually told people to stop, interact, and do something. Okay? Makes sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense. Farron, I did do one for Instagram. And I also have a free class for Instagram that shows you how to grow your following. So that's at freeclassforactors.com. I own all those, I guess. Okay, cool. So Farron, I don't know if you heard me. Let me know. Okay. So you can see, just sometimes saying, hey guys, let me know if that makes sense, right? Let me know. Every time I say that, you guys are in the chat and you're letting me know, thumbs up, right? Affy, are tweets with no hashtags okay? Every once in a while, I put something out with no hashtags, but I have almost 30,000 followers. So keep in mind, if you want to grow, right? If you want to grow outside of your own audience, then hashtags are there to help you. Hashtags are there to tap into an audience. Okay, Affy? So I don't know how big your following is, but you may want to consider using some. Okay? So the last step in growing a following on Twitter, remember, it's cleaning up your first impression, sharing this awesome, engaging, retweetable post. But step 3 is a biggie. Like I said, you have to do 1 and 2 to even move on to 3. But step 3 is where you see the biggest growth. And that is that you must engage. Okay? You have to engage. Instagram and Twitter, and I know somebody asked me about this before, will this work on Instagram? In a lot of ways, yes, because Instagram and Twitter are very similar in a way that they are like giant parties. Okay? They're like giant parties, think billions of people or millions of people, right? If you just sit back at this party and you don't introduce yourself, you are not going to get followers. It's just fact, right? And if you only use hashtags, you're only going to get so many followers. So we need to figure out who your audience is, and then we need to go out and introduce ourselves. Okay? It's a 2-step process, number 3. But this is so important. Take out a piece of paper. This will change your follower growth on Twitter. I promise. It's how I have almost 30,000 followers. It's how my clients have surpassed me and have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. Okay? So you have to know your audiences on Twitter. You just need to know how to find them. Okay? The reality is that you don't need everyone to follow you. You need the right people to follow you. Okay? So stop using follow for follow tags and stuff like that. Start using a strategy. Okay? Here's how we find them. Write this down. Okay? we can use hashtags to find them. We can use like-minded accounts. So think of accounts that might also have the same followers as you or the same type of audience you may like. We can use Twitter lists, and we can search bios. There are more ways, but those are 4 main ways to find our audience, okay? Hashtags, like-minded accounts, Twitter lists, and bios. Okay, let me walk you through how this is. Affy, oh yeah, you definitely need to use hashtags, and Affy, pay attention right now. So find your audience. Think about what hashtags they might use. Who might they follow? Do you guys know what Twitter lists is? Let me know in the chat. Twitter lists are some of the best features of Twitter, not Instagram. They're amazing. Twitter allows us to put people in lists, people that we don't even have to follow them, so that we can easily engage with them. And Twitter is really pushing out lists right now. They're adding a couple of really cool features. I'm excited to see where they're going to go. So let's see. Twitter's like, I don't know what that means, Deanna, so maybe you can explain. Okay, cool. So with Twitter lists, people can put all sorts of people on a Twitter. So Twitter lists, like if you were an actor, you could put your cast members on a Twitter list and make it public. Cast members of, I don't know, Hamilton. If you're in Hamilton, you can put your cast on there, right? You can make groups of anything, directors that you want to know, casting directors that you want to know. There's all these lists that people have created on Twitter, and a lot of these lists might contain people that you want to have follow you, right? Or people that might like the content that you're putting out there on Twitter, right? So we can search on Twitter for a different list. Or if there's somebody that might have the same audience as you, it could be maybe it's an actress that's similar to you and you think your fan base might be the same. It could be a fellow actor on a show. So if you're on a show, maybe a cast member, you think, oh, you know what? We probably have the same audience. So we can go look at who's following them, right? Let's look at their followers. Let's go engage with their followers. Let's use Twitter lists and see what Twitter list people have put my cast member on. Okay. And then we can actually go, and this is very hard to show you guys when I'm not showing you Twitter lists, but Twitter lists are like digital intelligence. So what we can do is, like, if somebody put your fellow cast member on a list of certain types of actors, we can go look at that list and we can start looking at all the followers of all those people on those lists. Those are target followers for you that may want to join your tribe, right? So we can use Twitter lists to sift through everything. That tool I told you about, Tweepy, earlier, this is where it's awesome, because yes, we can use advanced search on Twitter. We can use that search bar, but if we use Tweepy, what we can do is we can go on Tweepy and we can search all the things I just talked about. We can search for people by hashtag. We can be like any act, and if you want to grow your tribe with fellow voice actors or theater actors, anybody that's using theater related tags, anybody that's fans of theater related tags, right? Anybody that's using acting, actors, like whatever you want to use. You can search people's following and start engaging with their followers right in Tweepy. It's amazing. I sound like I'm doing a commercial for them and I'm not making any money. You can search Twitter list on Tweepy, right? You can search through anybody that's on a Twitter list and start tapping into those audiences. Okay. And one of the biggest things you can do on Tweepy is you can search bios. It's amazing. You can literally say, I want to find anyone on Twitter that has this in their bio, which is pretty powerful when you think about, like, if you're tweeting about a certain subject, if you're a comedian, anything, if you're, what do you post about? Are you in a show? Let's find those people that are fans of that. Does that make sense? Let me know. Okay. Liam, Matt, everybody has lists on their accounts. Okay. It's a feature on your account. What I'm going to suggest that you look up, Liam, it's in the description. I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel. It's a 35-minute Twitter tutorial. It's just me showing you how everything works, including lists. It's free. It's on my channel. So go to twitter101.com, Liam, and you will see that. And I show you where lists are. I show you how to set them up. I show you all of that. Okay. All right. All right. Deanna, just save those for me at the end, because I'm not able to see them right now. Okay. Perfect. So, but that tutorial will show you exactly how to set them up, exactly how to use them, and search for them. Okay, cool. Perfect. You can look at it anytime, Liam. Now, I'll give you guys a little secret here too. So say you find an account and you're like, they have, I'm wondering what list somebody's put this person on, right? Because they have a similar following. You can find out what list people are on by putting in the browser twitter.com/their username/memberships. And it will pull up any list that somebody is on. It'll pull up lists that I'm on. It'll pull up lists that my husband's on, who's an actor, anybody, right? So this is really powerful too. If say there's another actor people compare you to and you think, oh yeah, we do a lot of the same work. We might have the same fan base. Well, let's go look at what list people have put him on. We might find other actors like him. And then now that's more of the followers we can go engage with and bring them back to our account. So that's twitter.com/their username/memberships. And you can find the list for anybody on Twitter. Okay. So once you guys have done the research, you can think about who your audience is. I guess I'll rewind a little bit because a lot of people, I guess you might not know who your audience is, right? Your audience as an actor is going to be people who do what you do. So there's someone in the business, obviously, someone who loves what you love. So what do you post about on Twitter besides being an actor? So that might be your audience, or it's people that are fans of the show you're on. So basically that's what your audience is. Okay. So think about that. That's how you find your audience. People who do what you do, love what you love, or on the show, or love the show that you're on or in. Makes sense? Okay. And then find hashtags associated with that. Find those like-minded accounts, sift through Twitter lists, and search those bios, which we can do on Tweetbee. Once we find these people, you're going to engage. I mean, remember, it's a party, right? The only way you're going to meet someone, unless you're a public figure or a celebrity already on Twitter, is if you introduce yourself. You extend that hand, you initiate the conversation. So that's what you need to do every day, 5 minutes a day. Make it a habit to engage with these interesting, like-minded people that do what you do, love what you love, or on, like the shows you're on. Okay. And if you've done a good job with step 1, creating a first impression, and step 2, creating shareable content, then there's a great reason that they're going to follow you, like a big reason if you've done 1 and 2. And when I say engage, it doesn't mean you have to follow them. It just means you need to go find them. You need to you need to comment on their post in an authentic way. You can literally do this for 5 minutes a day and get hundreds of followers a week. But people that are actually a match, people that are going to start caring about you and growing a like-minded tribe. I've seen it happen over and over and over again, and I've done it myself. No, not direct messages. Do not direct people that you don't know. That's not going to work, and you're going to end up in their other inbox that they don't follow you yet. So no, you're going to click over, reply to their tweets, right? What are they talking about? If it's someone who's truly like-minded that you did a search, like they're using your same hashtags, they like the same things, they like the show you're on, then obviously their conversations that they're talking about are going to be very similar to your conversations. So it's really easy to hop over and like a post that is a like-minded topic and say, oh my God, I love that kind of dog too, or I love this, and right? Okay. And if you're listening to me and say, oh my God, I only post about being an actor, well, then you need to go watch my live about what to post on social media, because that's going to help you there. Even though I do have a lot of clients and a lot of students that have grown big followings, like with other people in the industry. So other actors, other filmmakers. So you can just stay in that realm of looking up hashtags that revolve around things in the business. There are Twitter list guys. Just search them on Twitter or on a tool like Tweetbee that are like women in film, independent women filmmakers. Like there's all indie filmmakers. What kind of person do you want to know? And go find the list of those people, engage with them, look up their bios. This is like, we're talking about finding a real tribe here, not just increasing a number, because that doesn't matter, right? Okay. Do you think it's annoying at all to engage people and not follow them if they follow as your result? Not really. I don't follow everybody, but you can decide, Vanessa, to follow certain people back. When people are influential, I follow them back. If somebody's like I follow a lot of actors back. So that's up to you, Vanessa. Just, I'd say keep everything in check. You're not going to follow everybody back, right? All right. So So that's what you guys have to do. You have to know step 3, you've got to engage. And I gave you those 4 ways to find them and a tool to help dig deeper. Okay. I want to give you a bonus tip. So it's actually 11. If you are on a show, one of the best ways to grow your audience, and I'm going to give you a very specific example that one of my clients did last week. If you're on a show, it could be network TV, it could be cable, it could be even streaming services. If they're on Twitter, why not live tweet? And you can live tweet with streaming services, just it's not going to be live like the episode is premiering right now. You just track the hashtag when the episode comes out. Okay. Live tweeting has been shown to increase actors' followings by 200% plus. Okay. Even when you're not the series regular, I promise. So if you're using the show's trending hashtags, you're going to follow along as the episode is on, and you're going to engage with the conversation. While you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure your header, everything we talked about, that bio, maybe the pinned tweet talks about the fact that you were on that show. Maybe you have hashtags or usernames in your bio that show you're part of the show. So when people see that you're engaging in the conversation, they click over, they go, oh my goodness, this person's in this episode, right? Okay, I'm going to give you an example. I have a client, a British actress, who is brand new to Twitter, but she has a bigger following elsewhere. She was just a guest star on a TV show. And I told her to live tweet. We planned a whole kind of campaign for it, even a countdown leading up to it. And she went from 1,100 followers before that episode, the morning of that episode, and she has over 5,000 now, and it's still going up, right? And that was just in the 24 hours of the episode. Just because she live tweeted as she went along, she shared pictures from when she was on set, everything. It's a great way to connect with your fans once you're a little further along and you're working, and connect with the people a part of the project. She got a personal note, a personal direct message from the producer, the head producer of the show, thanking her for her performance. This is after she did the live tweeting, and thanking her for her enthusiasm in sharing the project. If she's up for another role with that producer and he's involved, who do you think he's going to want? He's going to want her because she's game. She's game for sharing the project, right? It's really, really magical. Awesome. Mary, this is great information as always. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I mean, live tweeting is everything, really. If you have an opportunity, and you don't have to be the starring role. I've seen it over again with clients. And my husband, I remember he was a guest star in one of the season finales of Blacklist. Had a whole couple scenes with James Spader, and he live tweeted during that. His follower count went through the roof. All the writers of the Blacklist were sharing his post because he was sharing behind the scenes pictures, and he connected with the director again on Twitter. So it was great for building his following, but also his network, right? Okay. Even background. Deanna, you can follow along. The problem is, as background, you're not going to really have the behind. You shouldn't be taking pictures on set, and you're not going to have as many stories necessarily with like working with the director and all that. You can join those conversations, but it works better if, even if you're just a co-star and you have, some kind of lines. Okay. Yes, Vanessa can work if you're a host as well. All right. Yes. And we're talking about, Michelle, we're talking about, this is like when things have aired. So most of, NDAs really go up till then. It just depends what the project is. All right. And another way you can live tweet too, it's not just about being on a show, Deanna, this might help you. But, once things change and we're able to attend film festivals and we're able to go to, if you're a musician, you go to concerts, like you can engage with other people at the event using that hashtag, and you might pick up some new like-minded followers. Or say you go to a big voiceover conference. Well, guess what? Track that hashtag and connect and start engaging with people, just like we talked about just a second ago. Go and connect with the people that were at that conference. These are a like-minded audience. Click over to see who they are, who's using these hashtags. Twitter's magical because you just put the hashtag in the stream and you have a stream of all these people that are talking about the things you do. You can literally go through and like and comment and engage. And I promise you're going to grow that way. I've seen it over and over and over again. Awesome. So one of my favorite quotes, guys, is Bruce Lee said, to hell with circumstances, I create opportunities. And I love this so much because you can sit back and wait for the phone to ring. You can wait for someone to discover your Twitter account or your content, or you can do what I talked about and extend that hand and start meeting new like-minded people through hashtags, like-minded accounts, using Twitter lists, searching bios. Okay? You're really extending that hand, extending your network, and creating more opportunities for yourself. Okay? Because that's really what it's about. All right. Perfect. Candy says Heidi's love of Twitter made me come back after years of inactivity. Yes. Awesome. I hope everyone goes to Twitter. I love it so much. So I am going to sign off. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here today, talking about my favorite platform in the world, Twitter. And I hope to see you guys on this channel again. And find me on Twitter, Marketing for Actor. Tell me that you found me through Backstage so I can give you a like and a follow. And until next time, I'll see you guys on social. Bye.